Greetings, everyone. This is the Hipster Snack for another Tomodachi Brocade episode. For once, there's 4 of us, and not 2 or 3 of us, but 4 of us here today.
They're multiplying. Oh my god!
The professor really wanted to play Turtles in Time. He just is always like, hey guys, we can play Turtles in Time. And now there are 4 of us, so he's like, guys, we gotta play Turtles in Time.
Yeah, not that we haven't...
Not
that we haven't done this already, but Mr. Snack was like, we gotta do all 4 turtles.
Gotta fix Clockwork breaking reality and actually doing this correctly. And, after we already tried 2 other beat-em-ups that didn't work. So
okay,
that was a thing.
I'm pushing the thing now.
Push the button, Didaku.
I also had a late lunch, so we're fine on the...
No.
We already messed this up.
I already messed it up. We gotta back out.
Alright.
Winners don't use drugs.
Alright, hit right bumper and quit out so we can do this all over again.
What's the matter?
Cog screwed up.
We got the wrong turtles.
Who cares?
Too late, I already left.
We care.
Get in here, guys.
Reset it, do it over again.
I'm gonna be that guy. You know what? They're all the same. All the same. They're the same?
No,
argue in the comments, everyone. That's Utaku's hot take for the day. So fight it in the comments. All right,
I'm gonna try to not mess this one up.
I made the lobby. We're good.
Wait, so you guys left?
We did.
Yeah,
we started our own lobby because we're that much better.
We just hit the right bumper, and it should.
There we go.
I'll give you the option. Not redoing the intro. We're rolling with this. We're doing this live.
Yeah, we're doing it.
God.
Doing it live.
We're playing with fire now.
This is just how we do things. Okay, now don't push the button.
We're always playing it.
Don't push the button rush until you're over the turtle you actually want this time.
Yes.
Well, for starters, they have different stats. In addition to the different weapons. Okay.
What just happened?
That's the game actually starting proper. Because old arcade games loved their... So you just gotta drop some coins in there, Clockwork, stop. Hit start to drop a shell in, drop a coin in, and then you'll hit select to actually jump in to the game.
Listen, I don't trust myself to win in the first 50 lives, okay?
I mean,
especially how the other one
there's
went.
4 of us. There's 4 of us.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, which button? It's Y. Okay, it's Y or triangle. Okay, now we're actually underway, guys.
Oh man, there's actually 4 of us on screen.
It's about time because it's been a long time coming. Because some normie who shall remain nameless is never around.
I resent that accusation.
But can you deny it? That's my question.
I can't deny it, but I resent it.
Fair enough.
This is for about an hour of us trying to play various other games. So
yeah, that was
aspirated. It's because
and
of
then yes,
if anyone knows how to make Steam Remote Play not suck, please tell me. DM me. I want to talk.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it could be just a program that they added and then forgot about. Just like, ow, I blow myself up. Just like Steam groups, where you have a bunch of Steam groups and everything that people probably don't really ever use anymore. That
people use Steam groups at all? News to me.
Hey, it's where I found, it's where I found a bunch of people who play the Toho fighting games.
Clockwork, you have every game on Steam on your wish list. That means nothing.
Yeah, it's true.
But the Toho fighting games are not on Steam, though.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Clockwork's always like, "Hey guys, you can buy me, a game." It's like, but you have literally all of Steam.
All of Steam is your wish list. What do you actually want?
You don't
one
even buy
knows.
the games that we get you.
You get the man that needs.
I have yet to see a hatful boyfriend, you know.
Well, there's one game that I would prefer not to sully my playtime with, especially for other people with what you guys got me.
Yeah.
I
Oh wait,
remember that on
didn't
my
I get
friends
you
list.
that? Oh yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Oh, I think we talked about him in Shredder's Revenge, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I actually talked about how in the original comics he was a black guy, and the animated series, the '87 series, was like afraid of making a black guy subservient to an Asian guy, and so they just changed him into this wormy white guy. And then like way later in the show, they added his twin brother out of thin air, Barney Stockman. And his one thing was that everyone confused him for Baxter because Baxter was always the smarter of the two of them. And so like he got super mad because Raphael identified him as Baxter, and that was like his thing. Was that no, I'm Barney Stockman, even though I'm exactly the same character with exactly the same voice actor.
Hey guys, remember, you know, old 2D brawlers and we don't have any sense of depth?
Yep.
Don't you remember that? Don't you think that's great? How you can't really tell whether or not you're actually on the right, you know, level of depth because this axis just doesn't exist.
Yeah. What's a y-axis anyway? Like who cares? It's all relative.
Well, if you think about it, atoms never really touch each other, so everything's always just floating anywhere.
And really, maybe the y-axis was the friends we made along the way.
So basically what you're saying, you know, in Final Fantasy 14, when it shows that my Miko is actually hovering 8 inches off the thing, is actually, that's real life?
Yes.
You're just hovering the entire time?
Yep. You're actually just hovering. That's real.
So is this the? This isn't the SNES game. This is
the arcade port.
the arcade port.
The Super Nintendo version only had 2-player co-op, and weirdly enough, Cog and I tried out Hyperstone Heist, which was the We Have
That was a
Turtles in
weird
Time
one, yeah.
at Home of Turtles games. That was, and like, apparently, I think I realized what happened is that he hit the button and then I hit the button, so it like skipped the title screen and went straight to level 1 in 1-player mode. And like we had to kind of reverse engineer everything that had happened, and like we still almost won, even though we were fighting on a massive handicap the entire time. And we were just like, this is bad. This is like, this is someone's attempt at a ROM hack of Turtles in Time.
It's the Wish.com Turtles in Time.
Yeah, like I said, we have Turtles in Time at Home. Turtles in Time at Home. Hyperstone Heist.
You know, I'm just waiting. You know, I should do that. Be like the Dutaku, you know, sarcastic version of, hey guys, it's the 1980s. You know, talking animals are in, and you know, everybody loves incredibly over advertised, you know, toyetic cartoons.
That could be a podcast episode, guys. We're making our own '80s cartoon.
We're making our own 80s cartoon.
I would say after during the time where every single character wanted to be a mascot that made millions of dollars off toys.
Yeah, basically.
See, and the thing is that, and then of course there have to be a very special episode where, you know,
Some kind of PSA.
Some character, you know, gets like the lemon sundrop daisies or whatever, or something. Very thinly, you know, veiled thing.
Oh no, you're on the Suntime Lemon Drop! You told me you quit!
Don't you know that makes you hyper?
I
You
fell
shouldn't
off
do
the
that.
wagon! Okay, I want that as an... We're gonna do that as an episode.
Out of a time of Beanie Babies and other collectible, quotation marks of course, collectible
Beanie Babies was
toys,
more
people
late
thought were
90s.
going to be like, we're going to be worth like $1 million at one point. I totally lost where I was for a second. Oh my gosh. I find it funny that the one that really survived through everything was trading card games, or trading cards in general. Although the general trading card doesn't have as much, still has a lot of value, but not as much as the trading card games of today nowadays.
The irony of you bringing up trading card games, because that originally was what we were going to talk about.
Which we still will at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a good. I think that's a good episode idea. And I am going to put a pin in. Let's make an '80s animated series because I want to revisit that. That's a good idea.
Really, I was joking about it. You know, the fact that like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, it'd be really funny if we had actually a Tomo Bros. Tomo Bros. The card game. And the problem would be is like, knowing us, it would be like, you play COG and then you immediately get to slap your opponent.
You just hit your opponent in real life.
Yes.
My toes, my toes.
Oh
My
no.
toes, my toes.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's this level.
It's this
Oh.
level. Yeah, for the people who didn't know, is way back when I did SNEC's top 10 games that made SNEC. We were playing in two-player co-op for the Super Nintendo version. It was actually Ditaku who was playing with me in that footage. I might have mentioned that in the description or something.
Oh my god, it's not aliens.
Yeah, that's the pizza monsters, because
I kept running into things, and so if you wonder why one of the turtles constantly is like, my toes, my toes, it's because of that.
Pizza time.
yeah,
Thanks, game. You really need that pizza.
yeah, and like Shredder decided that the best way to get the turtles would be to trick them to bring the monster into their own home. So Krang made these like alien eggs that looked like meatballs and put them on a pizza. And like the microwaves from their microwave would just like hatch them and turn them into not xenomorph monsters.
Yeah.
But they colored them yellow so that it wouldn't be as like obvious a ripoff.
Yeah.
Legally distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it happened in like the second season. Honestly,
Yeah, it's
like,
really early in the show.
I would say the second to fourth seasons were the best bit of the cartoon.
You talk.
I like
You're
how
gonna
we
leave
all
it at
have
that.
like 20 or like 80,000 continues, and yet SNEC still has 8.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna put one more in to get to mastery level. But okay. Okay, you showed me. I'll shut my stupid sneaky mouth now.
So is this going to be the professor one credit clearing? game?
Not the arcade version. I might try that for the Super Nintendo version, which is way more merciful.
Come on, Professor. Come on. You're the one.
Not the
you gotta bring
arcade. The
turtle-
arcade's a quarter popper. By the time you get to
gotta
like,
bring the turtle power.
by the time you get to like Mudman, you're definitely popping quarters. Now, can I do that on the Super Nintendo version solo? Maybe. I'm a little out of practice. Maybe I can still do it.
Now, you see, if you were a true master SNEC, if you were a true master SNEC, you would play, Metal Gear Double X, one credit clear.
No, I'm not one credit clearing a Metal Slug game. Nuts to that. I don't hate myself that much. I only hate myself a little bit.
It's been so long since I played a Metal Slug game. How many Metal Slug games are there nowadays? I remember there's
lot.
also a new one coming out at one point.
Yeah, there was a tactics game and a regular standard playthrough game. There's several of them on Steam, and some of them have the what they do with this game, and you basically just get unlimited quarters to pop in.
That is not the voice. That is not his voice. That is way more manly than Shredder's actual voice.
Which is funny, as he's voiced by the guy who did Uncle Phil. So he actually has kind of a deep voice. He actually had to go higher pitched for
Here's
Shredder.
The thing is okay, I'm all right. As someone who was watching this franchise, from the outside in, you kind of learn things from osmosis. But let me tell you, actually watching the cartoon, let me tell you, 1987 cartoon version of Shredder he's a punk. He is a punk. He is constantly complaining and constantly henpecked by Krang. He's like, my body, Satsuki, my body. You need to bring me a body.
And Shredder's just like, oh, get to your body, stop. And he just gets thrown down a flight of stairs, yeah.
It's not threatening. He's not like a legendary ninja. He's a punk.
Yeah, pretty much.
He is, yes.
Now, I suppose that's just a thing of the fact that they couldn't actually show all the Frank Miller shenanigans of the original comic. But I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like. I know it's hard to explain where you expect this guy to be a cool dude and he's not at all.
Killing your main enemy with a thermite grenade in episode 1 is probably one of those things that PTA moms don't approve of.
I'm gonna have to do that in Tomo Quest.
Thermite grenade, what? I win!
It's alright. In the animated children's version of this, he'll just come back later.
For another 7 seasons.
How'd you survive?
I got better.
It's alright, it's because this is the children's cartoon version.
It doesn't matter because nothing is canon. I hate to be that guy, but it's totally true. And there are so many weird things. There's a bit very early on when Bebop and Rocksteady first get mutated. You see them as they were street toughs, and they were mutated by being brought into proximity with the Rhino and the Warthog. In a much later season, there's a bit where they return to the zoo where the Rhino and Warthog came from, and they act like they were the Rhino and the Warthog who became humanoid, not the other way around. And they were like, oh, this is the zoo where we came from. And I'm like, what? Even as a little kid, I was like, what? That makes no sense at all. That's not what happened. There were all different writers. The different writers were all over the place. And the characterization was, wildly inconsistent. Was it fun? Yes, it is a fun show. But it's also really dumb, too.
I don't remember this boss.
Yep.
Is this a different boss from the SNES version?
It is. In this level, in the Super Nintendo version, we'd be fighting Slash.
Man, I just had a shower.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, this doesn't ring any bells.
This reminds me.
I remember fighting Mudman. Or the prehistoric ooze, I don't know what you want to call it.
He's Clayman, I think is his name.
Ah, yes, very, very, very,
he was a B-list
creative.
villain who showed up once in the 87 series.
Do you ever get the sense that, it's these games were programmed by 3 or 4 Japanese developers who have 75 yen and a gun wrapper because
And a
that's
gun pointed at their
and a
head.
dream.
They're just being held hostage by Konami execs. You will program this game.
You are banished from Cadillacs and dinosaurs. You have to go to
Your options are Ninja Turtles or Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
I like to praise the Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Too bad, you get Ninja Turtles.
Kenichi Smith, you are banished from Cowboys.
Oh yeah, the planks that have the planks that have those cross
fire.
things on them are traps. Thank you for demonstrating,
yes.
Clockwork.
Oh yeah, okay. Funny of note, by the way. Speaking of Cowboys of Moo Mesa, they also got a beat 'em up game, and
Yes.
on top of that,
I
the
forced
professor
Itaku to
and I
play
know
it.
he beat it in 3 lives.
Yeah.
It was
It was not nearly as infuriating as you might expect. There's a free play arcade, and we went there, and I was like, "Dude, I really want to play Cowboys of Moo Mesa." And Dutaku was like, "Of course you do." And so, and so we played it, and we played all the way through, and we were like, That was good. It's like, that was not nearly as infuriating as most arcade games of that era.
To be fair, we also played Marvel vs. Capcom 2,
Yeah.
at which point I think I rocked.
Oh yeah, you completely crushed me. I was so out of practice, I had no idea what I was doing. And then we tried the JoJo's arcade game, and then the roles of fate reversed.
I kept trying to do the moves that I remember doing, but the problem being is that
Arcade sticks and joypads are not the same thing. And then I was like, oh, well, I'll play Old Man Joseph. And then it turns out, oh, in the arcade version, the winner isn't allowed to change their character until they lose.
Yeah, that's
through the characters trying to stop the professor. I couldn't do it.
So he's like, aha,
tried.
I'll play Alessi, and that way you'll become Young Joseph. And I'm like, joke's on you, I'm really good with Young Joseph too.
Is that the game where, I can't remember his darn name, the dude with the revolver?
Oh, Whole Horse?
Are you
Whole Horse. Is it
referring-
the Whole Horse was one of the characters that had like a really, really elaborate with like one touch of death combo.
Yes.
There were several
Among-
characters, because that game is super jank.
Yes.
Okay.
See, here's the thing. The Heritage to the Future game is basically under the you see, Kenichi. The game is balanced. But how can that be?
Because everything is imbalanced.
If everyone is broken, it's balanced.
Everyone is broken and the game functions as intended, so
Yeah.
it's balanced.
Pretty much every character is broken. And
It's
they're-
balanced in how unbalanced it is.
It is.
It's so unbalanced, it's balanced.
If you get good at the
well,
character,
okay,
like
I'll-
every character is busted.
Certain characters benefit from this less than others. Like poor Kakyoin just cannot
sucks.
catch a break.
Kakyoin is just like completely a punk compared to like everyone else.
Did we token raise on the boat? Is this a boss?
No, on a pirate ship, yes.
Yep. In the Super Nintendo version, we fight them in the Technodrome, which is a level that is not in the arcade version. And we fight them there, and here we would actually be fighting Bebop and Rocksteady.
Okay.
You know,
I'm like, I don't remember them being here.
You know, didn't we fight these guys in an arcade game in Shredder's Revenge?
Yep, they show up as assistants to Tempestra, the infamous bad platforming character that cost us our run in Rescue Palooza.
No, it's okay, guys. We're almost done with the game. We can start to just goof off.
Experiment and try different random characters who may be really weird. By the way, that was a
it's
terrible
okay.
time to experiment with other characters.
Pardon me, I'm gonna move away from Karai, the proven and well-established ninja master, and go to this janky, one-off villain.
Who shows up in like 2 episodes total. And she's terrible at the platforming segments, and we died. And yeah, bad plan on our part.
It was really, really bad.
No.
Aw, look at the little good boy. Looks
Yep.
like he's walking up.
We turned him back to being a good boy. He is no longer a bad boy.
But you know what they say? Bad boys get the
Very
belt.
nice shell at Wounded Knee.
Oh yes, I remember this boss.
Yep.
This is actually one of my more favorite levels because you have that rolling background going, and as the trains roll and stuff
Yeah,
like
it
that.
adds a certain something, right?
You know, the thing that always got me was, alright, so these are all supposed to be, they're all robots, right?
Yes. Well, except the stone
Why
men,
do
that's
they
just how they
have
are.
horses then?
Robot
They're
horses.
robots.
Why do they need...
Why do they need horses? They can just run really fast.
For the same reason that Proto Man knew that he'd risk himself for Mr. Lincoln.
Now keep in mind, they're very humanoid robots. They're not Terminator type robots.
Yeah, they're not particularly fast or strong, as the turtles usually destroyed like dozens
They're
of
just
them in
they're
every
just somewhat
episode.
functional.
Like even in
terms of-
the Turtles
They have
Forever
motor skill.
animated movie, they were just like, oh yeah, they're weak and cartoonish, and that's apparently by design. but like they're high enough technology that we can renovate them into something halfway passable. But it required Karai to take control of them.
So it's more budget robots.
Yeah.
And, like we can throw a lot of them at
But
the
they're-
wall
The
until they
is
stick.
basically the Wish.com of the hand.
I mean, yeah, basically. And then you have.
Hey, I want to join a legendary assassin organization. We have a legendary assassin organization at home.
I just don't want to spend a lot of money. But actually, we're going to spend a ton of money because it's just how many we're going to make.
Yep, and they don't ever bother upgrading them. They stay pretty low tier the entire series. And then like in the anime version, it also turns out in the anime episodes that they go on vacation from time to time. Because during the first anime episode, Shredder's like, Krang, send me the foot soldiers now! And Krang's like, oh, I can't. I just signed the leave form for their vacation. Yes, it is. And Krang had just signed the paperwork for their beach vacation, so you see the foot soldiers are like having beachside barbecue and wearing sunglasses and Hawaiian shirts. And they're not actually there.
I gotta say, it's surreal to have a series like that, because it's like it is simultaneously it's clearly based off the 1987 series, and yet the very first episode basically is like, farewell my friends, I'm gonna sacrifice myself in order to save the world. And then they're like, oh, she died to save the world.
And we're never gonna mention her again.
Yeah, she died. She just
Yeah,
killed
she legit
herself.
dies because she had to stop Dark Mew. Yeah, it was Chris Mew, the neutrino fairy, which was also weird because we see the neutrinos and they're just like weird elf people. And yeah, the anime is amazing, I gotta say.
It's definitely a thing. And I gotta say the funniest thing about that though is the fact that their super mutation just literally makes them into voided out like this North Star characters.
Yeah, and like with like weird Batman masks and huge muscles.
Weirdly enough, I never got to watch too much of the Turtles cartoons. For some reason, like when I wanted to play Ninja Turtles, I ended up we ended up having the VHS tapes of all three of the old live action movies, or I had Turtles in Time on the SNES.
It is a great game.
So if I wanted to get into the Turtles, where should I start?
Watch the 1990 movie. It does a fantastic job setting everything up. Then just watch the 2003 series.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought you were just
Just
gonna
stick,
be like,
just stick with that.
Oh, okay, here's the thing. It depends on what you're after. If you want something that's really silly and lighthearted and doesn't take itself super seriously,
you're gonna have to die now.
you have the 87 series. If you want something...
He is running us over, like,
Yeah,
literally.
he is. If you want something that has like a more focused story and is more true to the originals, 2003 series all the way. If you want something with a little bit of both, the 2012 series is really good. Don't bother with the Archie comics; they were terrible all the way through.
They had an interdimensional cowhead wizard.
That they did.
I'm not joking, by the way.
Saban's next mutation is so terrible that it wraps around to being just an amazing comedy without trying to be a comedy in that respect. Yeah. Enough said. The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sucks from start to finish.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
Welcome to the future!
Yes. The future of 2020.
That one was pretty bad.
Yeah, Rise sucks.
We didn't even need to go to a refrigerator.
That's true.
I remember they put a movie out of it, and it was
They
like...
did, and I watched it, and I was
it
like...
was like so stupid.
I was like, wow, you guys like legit do not have a single original idea, because you stole every single one of these ideas from the 87 series. Like all the talentless hack writers do. And like, here's the thing, this is my controversial...
That's where everything came from.
Here's
Oh,
my
yeah, he stopped me
controversial.
there again, no.
Here's my controversial statement for the episode. IDW Comics sucks, and I have zero respect to them based on how they treated the writers of the Sonic Boom comic by literally firing them over a tweet. Not they were fired for a tweet. They were fired via a tweet. They were like, "Oh, we're canceling the series," and they tweeted it, and the lead writer was like, "Oh, this is the first I've heard about that decision." And like ever since then, IDW can just burn. I absolutely have absolutely no respect for someone who treats their employees that way. And also, even in the context of the Ninja Turtles comics, it's not good. There are so many people who were like, "Oh, the first 100 were good." Like, no, it was still pretty bad. It was just like ripping off the Archie comics, but dumber. I'm sorry, reincarnation plotlines are not good plotlines. Stop using reincarnation plotlines. The
IDW's been going downhill for quite some time.
Yeah. The Turtles were samurai in feudal Japan that reincarnated into turtle. No, stop doing stupid, contrived, bad storytelling. And I don't care that Kevin Eastman is in on it. Kevin Eastman sold his share in the franchise in like the late 90s. I don't care about the guy who hasn't been here for half of the franchise's existence.
He hasn't been paying. Yeah, it's not like he's been actively contributing to it at all.
Yeah, like Peter Laird was the real spearhead, and still is. Like, Kevin Eastman was a big deal back during the original Mirage run in sets 1 and 2, but like, I don't care about his input, and I don't care that IDW hired him. IDW is still a bad company, and I'm not going to support them.
You guys ready for Mode 7?
Oh, yeah, no. Like, and that's the thing that irritates me is IDW has this bad habit. It's like, guys, we're gonna buy all these nostalgic 80 properties and revive them, but we're gonna make them suck. And like, oh god, like it started off so promising. So I was like, oh, they're gonna do like Ghostbusters and all this other cool stuff. Now it's like, no, we're gonna have the Ninja Turtles morph into Power Rangers, and the Power Rangers morph into ninjas. And I'm like, holy crap, guys, you were just out of ideas, aren't you?
See, the funny thing is that, you know, we didn't need IDW to ruin Ghostbusters. Sony Pictures was
Sony did that for us.
Yeah.
Which is funny, as they also did the same thing with Spider-Man, so...
Ooh, speaking of controversial statements.
Look, the Spider-Man did not need to be rebooted at all, because the Sam Raimi films were perfect the first time around. Marvel ended at Endgame.
Have Miles Morales, and he is my spirit animal, and I love him, and he definitely needs to be in all the things, and he is the best Spider-Man.
We already had a minority Spider-Man. It was Miguel O'Hara, and he was actually cool because he had a personality.
The bad guy of the bestest latest
Isn't
film.
there like a Japanese Spider-Man?
Oh yes, that's Supaidaman. Yes, that was Supaidaman.
The Spider-Man.
Yeah. Supaidaman is great, and he is a giant robot, and he is the emissary of hell, and his series is fantastic.
Let me tell you, Clockwork, if we did not have Supaidaman, we would not have the Power Rangers.
Because Stan Lee had the idea of bringing some of the Marvel characters to Japan. He wanted to do a Captain America series, but for obvious reasons, Japan probably didn't have a whole lot of interest in that. So they came up like, oh, hey, I have an idea. I'll license you guys Spider-Man, and you guys can make your own Spider-Man, and then we'll make a team of international superheroes. And there was like, the leader was like the Red Ranger from Japan, and like the Pink Ranger was an American, so of course she was a tall blonde, and so on and so forth. And that show became the template on which Super Sentai was born, and later exported back to the United States as Power Rangers.
Yep, that was Battle Fever J, which is the very first Super Sentai.
So it's like, yeah, Captain America basically gave Japan one of its biggest superhero teams, if inadvertently.
Oh, well, Superman gave us Ultraman, basically.
Yeah, I mean, this original Ultraman was very clearly supposed to be Japanese Superman.
And then Ultraman gave us Super Ultraman EX Boogaloo.
No, Ultraman is actually remained, unlike Superman, Ultraman's remained very consistent to his core principles.
All right, and I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm just gonna say, I hate to tell you, but you know, your street fooders, are basically just are heavily based off of Miss and North Star.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much all the moves that Ryu does are Hokuto Shinken moves. So,
The pipes are broken!
yeah.
And, Homestar Runner did one of those moves even, so that's pretty great.
Well, I mean, if Homestar Runner learned Hokuto Shinken, would that really surprise you?
No. The guy with no hands and no arms using a martial art that mostly uses your limbs? No, I would not be surprised.
You already did. Oh, what the crap!
Oh, you're ahead of us, road. Homestar Runner is really good. You guys don't know what we're talking about, look it up. You owe it to yourselves.
And if you ask your parents, then they're going to be like, I haven't heard that name for a long time. What are you talking about, Mom and Dad? We're talking about...
There's no way.
You were into Flash cartoons during the Clone Wars? Yes, we were.
Yes. Don't cite the ancient magics to me, boy. I was there when they were written.
Were you there? Mom and Dad, were you there during the Meme Wars? Yes, I was. It was a more elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
What's with all the Star Trek jokes?
Now I'm too cool.
Ro fight the power. Oh, Jesus! The freeze attacks!
Get me out of here! Why?
Now I'm too cool.
Let me reiterate, I get the sense that this game was made with $1.50 and like
Okay, guys, how do we get them to pop more quarters? Randomly spawning trap panels. What do? They freeze them. Print
just
it.
kill you.
I mean, they are cold-blooded. That would
Shot
be
you,
bad.
yes,
Yes,
exactly.
the Foot Ninja just roll giant boulders down the hallway. That's how it worked.
Funny enough,
And you
the
can just-
Super Nintendo version, you can just deflect those with your weapon.
And the funny thing is, I can just imagine, Krang being like, drop the giant round balls! And Shredder's like, we have our people down there. It doesn't matter.
It's okay, they're magically immune to them. What? How does that work?
Don't think about it. Sasaki, don't.
Ancient magic.
Saki, my body!
One more thing. No, I'm kidding.
I'm supposed to be the one explaining this to you. Aren't you the legendary ninja master?
I mean, like, you would think that, given that the first 2 seasons build him up as such, but... Yeah, Shredder doesn't do a whole lot of, like, heavy lifting on his own terms until, like, only the
It's
first
funny.
few seasons.
For someone who's a legendary ninja master, he sure does do more IT work than actual ninjaing.
That is true. he does. Like, that's, like, a weird thing about the relationship, is, like, he just outsources everything to Krang, and then just, like, for some reason, just completely punked by him. Misaki, my body! He's just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to agree to work with this exiled criminal overlord from another dimension. There's literally no way this can go wrong.
It's okay. I mean, if you ever encountered, interdimensional Osama bin Laden, I mean, what would you be like? You know what? I'm going to become his IT guy, or would you go?
Well, as they say in Earthworm Jim,
Here. Stop dropping the rat catchers.
As Psychro says in Earthworm Jim, the wages of sin is death, but the hours are good.
I never watched Earthworm Jim. I played the SNES game and had a blast playing.
Shockingly good animated series.
It is, yes, absolutely.
Probably better than it deserves.
Even
That
though,
was one that, man...
Even though they kill off, the princess by dropping a cow on her.
No, she gets better. To be fair, she gets better. And then in the second game, it turns out it's a cow in a disguise, but then it turns out that Jim is also a cow in disguise.
They did terrible things happen to Earthworm Jim, but because he's a worm inside a bodysuit thing, it's like it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't actually really hurt him because the suit isn't his actual body.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute.
So it's fine. He just shrugs it off. Also, he shares a voice actor with Homer Simpson, so there's your bit of trivia for the day.
Oh, does he? I didn't know
Yep.
that. That's That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yep.
But you know, Ann Castellaneta used to do a lot of voices. I mean, not anymore, but you know.
Actually, like all the turtles in particular had really prolific voice actors. Talking Leonardo had Cam Clark, Raphael, I almost said Donatello, which is technically true, but not where I was going with it. As Rod Paulson.
Well, you know the entire thing about Rob Paulson. You know, I hear that he'll voice anything you want. You know, for $20, you know, behind a 7-Eleven.
He's not picky. He literally did the Bubsy cartoon pilot. Yeah, I think it's like one of the few things he's actually like officially asked to be delisted from his IMDb profile. I'm like, of all the things you've done, that's the one you're ashamed of. Nah. Stop.
There we go.
Such a punk. Kept bubbling me.
My body, it exploded!
Yeah, it did. You in it. Alright, guys. It's time for the final boss.
Technodrome, the final shell shock.
I'm tired of you guys talking smack about me. I'm gonna smack you.
I'll show you a ninja master with a lightsaber.
Just my laser sword.
I stole Zero Z Saber.
Oh my god, it is actually. I didn't even notice that.
You're right,
Given
it
that
is-
he like enters like Sigma in Shredder's Revenge. Like,
I borrowed this from some Mavericks I know.
The memes, X. The memes. I will drop your rage a cutting. Wait a second.
wait, are you doing Mega Man X or are you doing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance?
I'm doing. Yes.
Fair enough.
I mean, okay. I'm gonna ask you a question to answer your question. Does it really make a difference?
I suppose it doesn't. I guess it really doesn't. I mean, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Platinum was spun off from Capcom, and Capcom's crossed over with Konami more times than I can count, so...
All it needs now is,
Yeah,
you know,
but Konami
nice,
doesn't really
Corner
make
jammed,
things much
corner
anymore.
jammed.
nice comment, Sigma. Do you have anything to back that up? I made it up.
So my day, my biggest failure is now not being able to beat Sigma in Mega Man X1. Or Mega Man X, I should say.
It's a tough
That's the
fight.
easiest one.
It's a tough fight only because, like, the weapon he's weak to in his final form is one that's affected by gravity, and his hitbox is at the very top of the screen. Once you can get over that hurdle, it's really pretty straightforward, because his pattern loops.
Surprise there, Clockwork, that you didn't get the Hadoken.
I didn't even know it existed until recently, to be perfectly honest.
You have to have full health, so if you take even one hit between the 3 fights when you get to that point, it's not going to do you any good. Also, it's really hard to land it on the final form. It's easier to do that in the first 2 parts of the fight, and kind of skip to the last bit. I like how all 4 of us keep sliding back, and then we just, like, keep going for it. You think they were trying to get kids to pop more quarters?
Oh, no. Actually die.
Alright! We threw a grown man over a cliff.
I also like the fact that in every, like in this, that he always like floats away over to the edge and then falls over.
That's how
I like
everyone
how
died.
Splinter's literally right in the front of the screen looking back after all the other, you know,
Oh,
he's
my
usually...
I told my
usually
sons
the one
to
that's
keep to
like-
the shadows, but I'm out in public. I trolled them for 15 years into thinking I was a ninjutsu master. I'm just some
You guys
drunk
with
Japanese
Vanilla
guy
Ice?
who made a Rokusaki mad, so he mutated me into a rat.
Yes.
Like,
They're like,
seriously,
we must
that
keep to the
plot-
shadows. That's why we must have a giant blimp.
That plot point makes no sense. The whole thing is that Orokusaki used the mutagen because he thought it would kill Hamata Yoshi. It doesn't kill anyone, ever. It just turns him into a rat creature that gives him supernatural strength. And then it just happens to give him 4 sons. Because a kid, like, it's like, the 87 series doesn't make any sense because of this change. Like, it's just some clumsy kid who falls and drops the turtles, and that is completely isolated from the mutagen dropping in on Hamata Yoshi.
3 a.m.
And because it's an arcade game, we literally just get thrown back to
It
the
literally
start.
just starts over.
So here's the fun thing. Everyone just stay where you are. Because this is going to show you just how much Splinter loves us as sons. So we're just going to chill here, and you see Splinter's kind of like going faster. So he's going faster, and now he's getting bigger. Hurry, my sons, hurry. And then, when he finally gets tired of us, he just kills us. He just drops a bomb on us and kills us all.
Wow.
It's supposed to be an anti-idle feature, so people couldn't hog the arcade machines. But that said, that was our complete glitch-free run through Turtles in Time. Because the last time we tried this, Clockwork broke the game, stole Raphael from Cog, and then just like left us as is. So thank you for joining us, and it was a lot of fun getting to revisit this and actually have all 4 turtles for a change. And this is the Tomo Bros. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that other shilling I'm obligated by law to do. And we will see you guys the next time.